Okay, so the stage in life right now is particularly this, right? If you want to escape and do whatever the fuck you want, just listen to me, hear me out in my fucking personal journey. Right now, what am I doing in life? I'm literally doing whatever I want. I'm traveling around, hiking, fucking hot young bitches. I don't fuck bitches and make money. I make money off of fucking bitches. That's one of the things on how I make money, right? A lot of you are seeing me bang these chicks out on fucking in my Telegram chat, on my X, on the OnlyFans accounts that I collaborate with these women. And I'll tell you what, it makes a lot of fucking money. There is nothing that makes more money than adult entertainment. What's up, bro? Hiding out over there? We got this guy appearing on my blog. I'm sitting here talking about being an adult entertainer. What's your name?
I'm Alex.
What's up, Alex? Right here, bro. I didn't mean to spook you out.
No worries.
On your smoke sesh, whatever the fuck is going on, you know what I'm saying?
Just getting a little exercise. Time up here for my heart.
A little like your heart?
Yeah.
You're not even that old, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh,
Never
okay.
too early to start.
Yeah, hey, you know you gotta do what you gotta do. Another guy just living his life, you know what I'm saying? Alright, bro. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just, you know, running around doing whatever the fuck I want to do, because that's what you should be doing in life. And if you're not, well then you're doing it wrong, right? So the first step is you figuring out how to make money on the internet. So a lot of you guys know that I had a career in cybersecurity, and I realized that that shit was lame as fuck, because I found myself trapped in a fucking office, not doing what I want, right? Sure, I was making 80, 100K a year, but for what? For the cost of what? Sitting there rotting away, doing nothing while I'm staring out the window, imagining all the epic adventures I could have, right? All the romantic fantasies I was missing out on. And ultimately, I got fired from a lot of those jobs because I wasn't really cut for the corporate workspace and these fucking politics that these corporate people play. Okay? I couldn't take that shit. It was very demasculating, let's just say that. So I started to carve my own path. Figure out my own way on how to make money and shit like that. The first thing that I did was engineering subcontracting. When I first realized how these cybersecurity companies were making money and making money off of me, I realized that them paying me a measly 80K a year was fucking nothing compared to what I could make for myself. So I started to make friends with all the Indians and the Somalians and all those people I was working with. And under the table, I was like, you know what? Listen, I'm going to get the contracts and I'm going to subcontract you to them. And that's what I did. And I wound up making 30K a month doing that shit. Until the industry cracked down on me. Now, this is one thing you're going to realize when you go on this entrepreneurial journey to escape. Every time you figure out something that makes a shit ton of money, it's going to attract jealous haters, envious fucking people who are going to do whatever they can to fucking stop you. And of course, I had my LinkedIn account shut down. There was people being sent from other cybersecurity companies into my chat rooms where I was talking to my employees to try to sabotage the situation and all kinds of crazy shit. People will come for you when you start to make a shitload of money and escape, and people witness it. Just like me now, doing whatever the fuck I want on a Monday, not caring, right? So, you gotta be prepared for that shit. But then once I started doing that, I just started traveling, meeting chicks, got involved in marketing. Because I realized that you got to have a personal brand to do anything in this life. The future belongs to people with personal brands. Now we have AI and everything else to enhance your personal brand to any degree that you wish, right? So I created a personal brand. Wound up being called Dark Nimbus. How'd that come about? Well, one of the main chicks, the legendary chicks that I was traveling with, Boo Boo Head as I call her, that's her nickname. I give all my bitches nicknames. Okay? I was with her in the Moab desert, and I'm sitting around thinking of, you know, what my personal brand name is going to be. I'm trapped in the Moab desert with her. We're running out of water. And I'm just like jotting shit down in a coffee shop. And I'm like, yeah, cool. I like this. Dark Nimbus. It's my vibe. Boom. Okay? So we're just going to go with that right there. But yeah, you have to build a personal brand. Because if you don't build a personal brand, then you're kind of fucked to start with. You have to have a personal brand. If you're afraid to get on the internet and talk shit and create waves and get attention, it's not going to work out for you. You're not going to get what you need. Social media is the tool that you need to use to escape your situation. And if you don't learn how to master the psychology of advertising, you will just not escape into this free lifestyle that you're looking for. I got to check where I'm at. 1 second. Okay, it looks like I'm on the right path. So a lot of people have social anxiety and they're afraid to put themselves on social media. Well, guess what? If you don't get rid of that, you're fucked. Okay? So this guerrilla marketing journey, that I went on while I figured out how to market myself and use a variety of tactics, from rage baiting to causing controversy to getting on podcasts and everything else under the sun, I wound up eventually having an Instagram profile with only 5,000 something followers, but I was bringing in 14 million fucking people a month. You might have remembered this period with me when I had some chick next to me and I'm like, yo, she just turned 18. I gave her my demon seed and all this other shit, right? People were going crazy over it. Perfect marketing tactic. I developed that marketing tactic when I realized that the algorithm does not give a shit about dudes. They don't give a fuck about you if you're a dude, unless you're pushing luxury consumerism. Because the system has a self-interest in pushing luxury consumerism and men towards luxury consumerism and the fetishization of commodities. Because it pushes their masculinity down a pipeline that allows the system to control it, right? But the system did not want to highlight a dude that's running around, doing whatever the fuck he wants, flying around the country in a solar-powered camper van that's blacked out, and banging out hot young chicks, right? And making content and all the other shit. They don't want that. But they do want the females pushing it themselves, right? So, long and behold, as soon as I got some hot young chick next to me, the views went up. Okay? Now, when Instagram started to figure this out, they started to throttle me in every fucking way they possibly can. That Instagram account is so throttled now, I don't really even use it that much. I'm all over the internet and other places, and I've become quite the philosopher, which is what I always was anyway. Originally, I went to school for philosophy, and then I got involved in cybersecurity because I was already doing computer hacking and shit. And from there, I was just like, I might as well switch my major or I'm going to be fucking broke, right? Which was a smart move. But anyway, yeah, marketing 101. Get involved in it. Learn it. Learn advertising psychology. Learn how to get people's fucking attention. And for fuck's sake, stop giving a shit what people think about you. At the height of my 14 million views a month, I had people sending me death threats, people trying to dox me, people trying to contact the multiple women that I hung out with. There was one point where somebody swatted me and this chick that I was with, and they surrounded the vehicle with squad cars. And she came up to the front, the chick who was with me, and she's like, yeah, I kidnapped him. And the police are looking at me, looking at her, jealous, right? That I'm fucking 35 hanging out with some 21-year-old chick touring the nation. They didn't want to believe that's real, right? The thing is that when you become this dude that's traveling around, doing whatever the fuck you want, hanging out with chicks, people are going to get jealous. They're going to try to call the cops on you. They're going to try to put you in jail. They're going to say lies about you. I've had dozens and dozens of people file false police reports just for the sake of trying to get me in trouble when I haven't fucking done anything. Of course, I'm still here and I'm not in jail. Because you can't file a false police report and it just fucking work if it's not true. And then, of course, when I would encounter the police, I would tell them, listen, I'm a social media influencer. There's people doxing me, lying, trying to fucking get me fucked up. And they would understand that shit. Because this is what happens when you become a social media influencer. Or you gain any kind of influence at all. And you become a mirror for people who are essentially failing in life and not being free, and they're glued to some kind of corporate slavery job. A majority of women don't even answer their fucking DMs, right? So of course they're gonna be upset when I'm living my life doing whatever the fuck I want to do, and they're trapped at some fucking slave job like a bitch, not getting any pussy, not getting any money, not doing anything with their life that they want to fucking do. But eventually I figured it all out, right? And now I have multiple businesses, multiple pieces of property that cash flow me. I'm still buying land. Land wound up being a very profitable thing for me. Because land is cheap as fuck and you could get it and you could build things on it. You could cash flow it like infinitely. I learned how to create corporate infrastructure, how to create trusts, how to deal with LLCs, how to deal with business financing, how to start a business, when to stop a business, what kind of businesses work for me, what don't. And that's another thing. For a lot of you guys, you're asking me, like, you dig my lifestyle, you're like, how are we going to escape? How am I going to escape? I can't give you the answer to that. You have to figure it out yourself. The first thing you got to do is figure out how to make money online. You got to figure out how to make your first dollar. Once you figure that shit out, from there, it's just a matter of upscaling it and seeing how long it works. When you're self-employed, you're an entrepreneur, the goal is to get enough money to invest in things that feed you income while you continue to experiment on different entrepreneurial adventures. You will fail. I've lost tens of thousands of dollars. I've gained tens of thousands of dollars overnight. But it's all a risk, right? Here's the thing though. If you sit at your job forever, the biggest risk that you take is essentially dying there in fucking corporate slavery, not ever having realized your full potential or doing anything meaningful in fucking life besides rotting away at some corporate job and saving meaningless pieces of paper called money when you should be using money as fuel to live your life as an experience. That was a really difficult thing for me to get over. The poor person mindset, I call it. Saving on every dollar and every penny and afraid to lose it, afraid to spend it, afraid to risk it. You can't do that. Because if you do that, you paralyze yourself. Right? So it took me a while to get used to that shit. Because if you don't get used to spending money on investing in what you need, you're going to lose it eventually, right? So you have to learn how to use the money as fuel to get to the next step of what you're going to want to do, rather than hoard it like, you know, like you're preparing for the apocalypse or some shit. Because you're going to die anyway. Isn't that right? We're all going to die, right? That's why you're out here hiking. So you got to do whatever you want to do, because if you don't, eventually you're going to regret not doing what you want to do, because you're going to eventually die, right? So you got to figure out what the fuck you want to do. And just do it. And if you sit around and do nothing, then what's going to happen is that you're going to have an uneventful life. And I think I'm going the wrong way here. I think I got to go the other way. So I don't have the fucking trail map open right now because I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, make sure you hit that fucking link. You follow me on all the platforms that I'm on. YouTube, Instagram. What else am I on? X. I just got snagged by Vine over here. The Discord chat is kind of a hellhole. There's nothing going on there, and I don't really like fucking Discord. So make sure you join the Telegram community, right? Now you see I'm walking around here talking and shit, and I'm like encountering random people, and you notice how I don't give a fuck? Well, the thing is that you can't give a fuck, okay? Because and that's another obstacle to your success, is that if you start giving a fuck about what people think, you're not going to get to where you want to go. It's never going to fucking happen for you. Because people, they're jealous, they're envious, they're gonna fuck with you no matter what, because you live in this construct called society. And, well, let's put it this way. You might as well just do whatever the fuck you want to do, because people are gonna fuck with you regardless. You just gotta learn how to deal with them when they fuck with you. Hold on, I gotta look at my location again. Okay, so here I am again. I got lost for a second. I don't really look at the map. This is like a short trail, a fucking loop or whatever. But yeah, eventually, once you start making the money and you do whatever the fuck you want, you realize that all your obstacles had to do with personal blocks within inside your own mind that was instrued upon you by the brainwashing of society's mechanisms to make sure that you stay a fucking corporate slave for the rest of your life. Once you get over that and you start making enough money, the question becomes like, what are you gonna do? Because your whole life before that was spent like overcoming these daily obstacles of you trying to survive, pay rent, all this other bullshit, right? So now that you could do whatever you want, which is the stage of life that I'm in right now, where I have enough money to just wake up and go to another country and say, fuck it. I'm gonna grab this chick, put her on the back of a motorcycle in another country, and just go do whatever the fuck I want. Which is the next chapter that you're gonna see, right? It's gonna be worldwide Nimbus tour. But when you reach that point, really, like, what is there to do? Because I really don't care about getting validation from others other than it being a tool for me to get more money, right? Using their desire for validation to hook them in and enrich myself. All these things that you used to adhere to, all these things that you wanted become nothing but psychological tools, mechanisms for you to get what you want, right? While other people are still trapped in them. What do? Now that you have the money. And another thing is you don't need, like I said before in my videos, you don't need a fucking Bugatti or a Lamborghini to have enough money to do whatever the fuck you want. You just need enough money to sustain yourself and travel and have some investments that feed you. That's it. Well, you come to the conclusion that life is pretty much just an experience, right? So the only thing left to do is to experience life. And then you have to decide how you're going to fucking do that. How are you going to experience life? And how I'm going to experience life is just exploring the planet, seeing a lot of things, having a lot of amazing experiences with different women. And of course, filming the fuck content to make money off of it. As usual, which you're going to see me go around the planet and do. And that's the peak experience, I think, for a lot of dudes, right? And then knock up a bunch of chicks, have them have my kids, have like multiple kids all around the planet, off-grid compounds in all these countries. Just in my old age, I'm out sailing somewhere on some fucking island and living in a hut or some shit. I don't fucking know how this is going to end, right? But it's going to be fantastic, and it's going to be full of awesome journeys and amazing experiences. And you're going to get to come with me. And I'm going to have fucking first-person view glasses to take you with me on these adventures. No more of, like, filming, selfie, this and that. I think that's where the adventure needs to be. It needs to be first-person. You need to see me from an FPV, you know, having all these adventures, getting involved in all these controversies around the planet. I have no idea what's going to happen. No idea. No idea who I'm going to meet, where I'm going to wind up, what country I'm going to be in, what kind of trouble I'm going to get in. I don't know. But that's part of the adventure. That's part of the excitement. That's what I was looking for, right? For a lot of you who grew up in chaos or environments that were lacking structure and security, now is your time. You have a superpower. You can operate as a worldwide nomad and excel in these situations where other people get paralyzed by chaos. And that's the kind of person I am, right? So we're going to keep just pushing forward and keep traveling and doing bigger and better things. What country? I go to first? Well, I've already went to a few, right? Some of you may have seen that, some of you may have not. But the worldwide escapade, I think, is going to last for like 10 years. I'm just going to leave the country for like 10 fucking years and not come back and keep expanding and building my infrastructure across the planet. Because that's what I fucking need to do, right? There's literally nothing to do but that. But to experience life. Now that I have enough money to do whatever the fuck I want, right? And that's it. So that's ending this fucking long form content YouTube episode, which will be cut into clips as usual. And I'll be off somewhere fucking off doing whatever the fuck I want while you live your corporate slave job and cry about your life and women not answering your DMs. Or you can get in my Telegram and learn how to be like me. Peace out, fuckers.